star, and she seems to be at a severe disadvantage. I would hope the WNBA wouldn't be that stupid, but this league has proven over and over and over they're capable of being a grade A dumbass.
See, right from the jump,
in the final 12 seconds at Gamebridge against the New York Liberty,
the WNBA is doing Caitlin Clark dirty. And let's face it, they're not even trying to hide it anymore.
With the controversial ending to the Fever vs. Liberty game, many of the game.
Basically, there's a committee that is saying what style of basketball they want to allow. Like, what is okay, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. And the refs just follow this law like sheep without raising any questions. This is probably the reason why we see a lot of games getting blatant missed calls all year round.
There, all over Caitlin going inside. I mean, that's a foul.
We can speculate all we want about why this has happened, but it all boils down to one thing. It's just straight up jealousy.
You spend all this time trying to get...
They're going to go to high school gyms and small recreational leagues and scout potential referees who are just getting started with little to zero experience. I mean, we're talking about officials whose only experience is refereeing high school games. Then all of a sudden, they're going to bring them on board and make calls in a professional environment like the WNBA.
WNBA fans are calling out the referee problem, and they are demanding answers and they are demanding changes.
The WNBA referees are an embarrassment. They are an absolute embarrassment here.
So how did it all come to this? Why hippie and physical? And it's because the refs and the committee are allowing it to happen. Now I understand that the WNBA wants to promote itself as a league that embraces physical basketball, just like in the NBA back in the 90s, in order to attract more viewers. But see, while it can draw attention and create rivalries inside the court, the truth of the matter is
Gotta be drama because they're jealous.
a lot of folks in the league have been grinding for years, putting in work, hooping at a high level. But when Caitlin showed up, boom! ESPN can't stop talking about her. Arenas were suddenly jam-packed. Everybody is screaming Caitlin Clark at the top of their lungs. And this didn't sit
Colson's leg, and her leg got stuck and literally twisted around. Both injuries, both Sydney Colson and Sophie Cunningham, were contact injury. And this kind of physicality that the WNBA they brag about. They say it's always been a physical league. That's just the heart of the
How does a league that constantly loses millions of dollars every year screw the very person who's trying to save them at every opportunity? I mean, we all know that Caitlin Clark is the best thing that happened to the WNBA since they started.
right with Sabrina as she drove to her left, did not appear to make any significant contact at all with Sabrina. Foul on Lexi Hall. Now, 2.2 left, inbounds to Caitlin Clark, who drove hard left on Natasha Cloud, who was all over Caitlin Clark as she went up into her shooting motion just before the buzzer. No call.
Selling popcorn at games. Ever since she arrived, she has brought attention to the W like no other. Sold out crowds, record TV ratings, merchandise sales went through the roof. You name it, and she has
college gyms. They go to the National Intramural Recreation Sports Association clinics. They basically say you can essentially go straight from being a high school ref and then you go and referee in the NBA or in the WNBA. And
yes, you heard that right, folks. The WNBA's hiring process in finding new referees is that done it. But despite all these, how did the league, its officials, and players treat her? Well, they repay her with a hack in the face, cheap shots, elbows, a poke in the eye. It's actually doing more harm than good.
can we talk about the physicality for a second? 2 players on the Indiana Fever got injured last night by the same player on the Connecticut Sun, and that was JC Sheldon. And I tweeted about it. She was playing so reckless. When you dive for a ball, you don't land on somebody's leg. She landed on top of Sydney.
Respect for your league, and then you do stuff. The only B's out there I see are the B's that are being dramatic about Caitlin Clark.
Style that how
What
Caitlin
is the
plays.
style? Just threes?
Wow. It's
What
not
is her-
just threes.
What
though.
is her style?
She
So
finishes
you
at
don't
all
think
levels.
anybody in the league can shoot threes? But I'm
I don't
saying
see nobody play like her.
The W and the refs have already sent a strong message that the narrative is going to be the same. In their first matchup versus Atlanta, the refs rewarded the Dream with 32 free throw attempts, while the Fever only had 26. Then, in their rematch 2 days later, the officials handed out 23 free.
She not on my team, so I really don't got to worry about that.
They try so long to get respect for women's basketball, and then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Junior high school girl antics on the court. Instead of playing the game, they got to be drama because they're jealous. Instead of letting their skills speak for themselves, they got
to better protect players who are subject to hard fouls. But as directly as they may be involved, it's sometimes not entirely their call. What actually happens is that we have a competition committee for stakeholders, coaches, governors, and general managers, and that competition committee is the committee that dictates the state of.
Caitlin Clark made a sensational bounce pass through heavy traffic in the lanes to Dewana Bonner, who appeared to get tackled as she shot. Rammed. No call. What? Then on the other end, Lexi Hull of the Fever did a very nice job of just staying right.
MVP voting after a historic rookie year. I thought the refs would finally give CC the respect by giving the call she deserves, and things would be different for her in year 2. But I was wrong.
In the NBA, star players, they're given the benefit of the whistle. The WNBA has one
where the stakes are much higher. But see, the rabbit hole goes deeper than that, because believe it or not, the calls that are to be made are in fact influenced by external forces.
This past season, many people criticize referees for the amount of physicality that is a part of today's WNBA game, urging officials
it out well for some players, so they trying to humble her. And the refs, they're letting it slide like she's just some rookie who ain't earned her stripes. But let's get one thing straight. Caitlin earned this. I mean, she has won Rookie of the Year, been named an All-Star, an All-WNBA first-team member, and finished in the top 4 in the turns out to be the latter, according to this shocking revelation.
Now, where the article starts to get interesting is where they talk about how does one become a WNBA referee. Now, they go on to say that there are essentially scouts that go out and scout referees, but the scouts are in high school gyms, they're in college.
Loose ball, turnover, game over.
In that game, the Fever only had 15 free throw attempts. Meanwhile, the defending champs were rewarded more than twice of that with 32. Though the Fever just lost by 2, there's just no way they could win ball games with the foul